I don't know anyone, and I've been around the sharpest sports betting syndicates of all time. And when I say the word syndicate, don't think automatically I'm a mafia. No, sports betting brainiac type of guys. We call that a syndicate when you have guys that are so smart, their brains are just spewing out their pores. But these guys are great with back-tested information, and also just they win betting sports.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them that bet the NBA.
I don't care who they put in there at tackle. Woo! They got to deal with it. There we go.
What's going on, sports fans? It's Josh Williams back live in the building. We are live again on Instagram. If you're tuning on YouTube, we appreciate you. Tuning on any of the channels, we always appreciate you. But excited to be back in the building. Excited to have a special guest in the building with us. We got Jory in the back. Jory, how you doing today?
Doing well.
Doing well. I see you done plucked out the curls, and now we're going with the fro top.
Yes, sir.
There it is. But without further ado, we have a legend in the game. He in my phone. He is the GOAT of the sports book. That's how I placed him in my phone. He doesn't know that, but that's what's in my phone. But we got Mr. Bill Krackomberger. Bill, how you doing today?
Hey, thanks for having me on. That's pretty cool. I never did anything like a live stream. I even gave you guys my Instagram. I said, put it on there.
Yeah, yes, he's a very brave man. He's giving out the login code.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it'll be changed in 2 hours.
It'll be changed in 2 hours. That's all right. It'll be another version of whatever you're saying. That's good stuff. But really do appreciate having you in the building. First off, just to give a little bit of your background, how long have you been a sports bettor, and what's your favorite sport to bet on?
Well, first, I've been a sports bettor literally since I was a young child. My father, used to give me these parlay cards. The local guys back in New York and New Jersey had these parlay cards. You used to fill them out, tear off the end, give it back to the guy, and you win 4 out of 4, you win $10. And that was probably my first thing. Then my father took me, to the racetrack. You understand? My dad was a good old-fashioned country boy farmer from the Ohio-West Virginia border. Literally grew up on a farm. And he was, I don't want to say nothing bad about my mom's family, but the Italians corrupted him. Yeah. No, my father was, my uncles would literally every week take him to the racetrack, and they introduced him to gambling. He never gambled out in the country. And it's literally racetracks, poker, pinochle. They played, the ladies played games called like Continental or a type of gin, and the men played pinochle or just poker or board games. I say board games with cards, playing wild games and wild cards and stuff. And so I was introduced to gambling at a very young age. And of course, the first time you win anything, automatically you say, oh my God, you're hooked. That you get those endorphins. Even though I was like 8 or 9 years old, you get those endorphins going.
Yeah.
And you go, I got to do this. Next thing I know, I was literally, it's sad the more I think about it, because I teach so much responsible gambling for kids. But I was taking like a bus from like Kingsburg, New Jersey to Long Branch, from Long Branch to Eatontown, which was Monmouth Park. I was a little DJ with my friends. And then as soon as we started like driving 15, 16, conning our parents to use the car, and don't worry, there's an adult driving, and we used to drive to Atlantic City. My first time in Atlantic City I was 15. I mean, you have to be 21.
That's right.
I always looked a little bit older, but I was there at a young age, but everything. I used to pitch quarters behind post offices, the post office in Kingsburg, play head-to-head blackjack, head-to-head cards, card games every week. Hey, we had casino night in someone's house. They had like different things set up in their house. Everyone gambled where I was from. Everyone. Yeah. And it was a rite of passage back east, really. Yeah. And any of those cities, though. You don't have to be from Monmouth County, New Jersey. New York, anywhere in New York, the Bronx, where my mother's family was always from. everyone gamble. Everybody is action every single day. You wake up every day action. Now, places like Philadelphia, Boston, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Baltimore. I mean, everywhere you go, there was people gambling.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like a closet gambling. You didn't want to let everyone know that you were a gambler because once anyone heard you were a gambler, oh God, he's got to be careful. It's real bad for, and it was bad for you. Now it's socially acceptable. You go to Yankee Stadium, left field, right field, center field, sports books, little 12-year-old kids. Daddy, what is that? Oh, you can bet. Their little brains are like sponges too. They just grow up gambling. And
how do you
every
feel,
college in America's got a gambling problem.
How do you feel about that in terms of that it's come out of the shadows more and now more regular people are spending their money on gambling, and has it changed how you gamble, how you move?
Listen, it really is unbelievable that I would even talk about anything responsible gambling or worry about the kids or anything like that, because the more square money in the market, the better it is for me and my team, because we feed off that $10 and $20 bets coming in cumulatively and coming in as, let's just call it sucker bets, and that helps guys like me kind of get into the sports book and take a little piece without them getting hurt that much, because all these kids are losing their money. And I say kids, I mean under 30, losing their money.
Younger people.
Yeah, younger people. I don't mean actual kids. But there's kids too.
Yeah.
I don't care what they say. There's kids gamble. I know kids that gamble.
Yeah.
So I try to tell them what the path you're leading down. So really, I'm not supposed to say nothing. I'm supposed to be quiet, just be happy, bet my sports, bet my advantage stuff. I know that, I beat closing line value. When I lay 5 on a game, it's going to close 6 or 7. I recently bet like the NBA All-Star game. I don't know when that was, like 365 or 356, whatever. Yeah, 365 and went down like 12 points. I mean, I should not say anything about that because I know that the public bets over on everything. They bet over, they bet favorites, and so all that money collectively will get a better opportunity for me on the underdogs. And I don't only bet underdogs, but years ago I would bet a lot more underdogs. I don't do that now. I bet more than I bet favorites, but I just know that I'd rather, if I had an opportunity to do it all over, you'd be shocked because, listen, I have a couple shows on air I talk about, and I have a couple shows that I'm involved in. I make money in this space now from media, but if I had a chance to do it all over, I have to tell you, I would probably want to make that not so easy. I would want to make kids not so easy for kids to gamble. I would want to not make it so glamorous and, glamorize it, and all the stars and the athletes now promoting gambling and same game parlays and love, I kind of think they're creating so many problems for kids. Not only that, we're creating an epidemic that's going to hit sooner or later. It's not just, it's lawyers, doctors, Wall Street guys, businessmen, people that are playing the online casinos that are home at night when the wife and kids go to sleep and they're playing blackjack or slots. Same thing for the females. The house. What do you think? It's unbelievable how many housewives are gambling online, because these you could play the online casinos.
That's right.
So you could play slots and, oh my God, it's $1 million jackpot. And it's oh wow, and they're giving me $10 to do it. Well, that's what happens. They give you the little bonuses. You know what I mean? They try to bait you with a little bit. And next thing you know, I'm going to play 10 or 20 of my own money. 10s or 20s become 50s, hundreds, thousands, mortgage payments. Yeah. So
what do you said you see an epidemic coming. What does that look like to you? Like if the air gets let out of the balloon, what does that look like socially and economically?
I wish the politicians would crack down more on the advertisement. That's all. I wish they would crack down more.
Don't make it so easy.
Yeah, New Jersey's pretty tough on responsible gambling.
Okay.
They want to know where the money's coming from. If you go and put a deposit over like $10,000, they'll actually vet you. But I'm really talking about the kids that aren't putting $10,000. The kids that are putting $300 on a credit card or
the nickel and dime.
Yeah, they're just grinding them to death, and everyone thinks it's fun. They're laughing with their friends. They're going to college and showing them what they got and what you got. It could be fun, and it could be done. It could be done a little bit better.
Yeah,
it could be done a little bit better, I think. And So I put that out there a lot. I know a lot of the sports books sometimes don't like it. Probably cost me some opportunities, but luckily enough that I don't have to care about that.
Right is right. Right?
Yeah. No,
Right
I
is
mean,
right.
and the platforms that I do, they let me talk a little bit about that because it helps them too, because they have some responsibility to put that out there. And the states do draw laws up where they have to, talk about promote safe gambling and responsible gambling too. So that percentage is gobbled up by me sometimes too. That's what I was just told. I didn't know that.
That's
so
good.
They'll say, "Oh well, Bill Krackomberger talked about this for 10 minutes. We're committed. We're committed now for only another 50 minutes this week or something."
Interesting. That's
yeah.
interesting.
So anyway, yeah. But where I come from, like I said, we're gambling since we're little kids.
That's it. Now, before we got started, we were talking about one of your favorites, and I didn't realize this, but talk about your admiration for Alan Iverson. You didn't know that. So my brother Jerome played with Iverson at Georgetown. I actually last episode wore my Hoyas jersey from the '90s, and I've known Alan for years, but. What did you love so much about his game?
You actually knew him or were with him, hanging out with him.
Oh yeah. No, I've beaten him. I've beaten him 1-on-1. Now, granted, anytime. Okay, I'll put because Jory's already in the back smirking. Anytime I say I have beaten one of these people 1-on-1, the game was to 1.
Oh wow!
Because look, it's in the middle of practice.
Right.
When I was young and I could slide in there for a hot second, somebody show me what you got, young fella. All right, we're gonna go to 1. And then they didn't. They allowed me too much space.
Jory, how old are you?
28.
But you know Iverson.
Of course. That's my favorite player of all time.
Wow. I tell you what. Yeah. We were just talking about it ahead of time, talking about some basketball players, talking about the great Michael Jordan, and we were talking about some other players. We went on to so many different basketball players and stuff, and I don't fall into that thing that you said, like people are saying like LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. Yeah. I think Michael Jordan was like 1 or 2 of all time. I mean, really. So, but I said, you know who else was really good that doesn't get a lot of accolades, but he does from true basketball guys? Alan Iverson. So that's when you said, what you said. He had a problem. Did you guys know about that? He blew all his money.
Yeah.
But he had someone in his camp, someone in his corner, put something together.
The Reebok deal.
Yeah, where he gets he'll start getting some money every year. Matter of fact, I think it's now. I think it was 2025. I think.
Yeah.
He starts getting $1 million a year.
Yes.
Like for the rest of his life or something. So
it was I think it's somewhere. It's 30 million plus that he has. Yeah. That they put in.
It's tough. You got all the entourages and you're part of everything. I mean, a lot of those guys go broke.
I think it was David Falk that put that in his deal for him. I think they gave him an annuity based. Just for the lifetime of the contract at the end.
Yep. And a lot of those guys like to gamble too when they're done with their career. A lot of those guys gamble.
The competitiveness.
Yeah.
A lot of it, Jordan always talks about, the competitiveness, because we always talk about Jordan as a competitor and the competitiveness of gambling of, I beat you. You beat me. I think
some big stories of him gambling on the golf course and stuff.
Millions.
Yeah, millions. Oh, you guys know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I have some buddies in South Carolina that told me that him and you guys remember Evil Knievel?
Yeah.
Evil Knievel was a gambler too.
That makes sense.
And Evil, that makes sense.
Riding on the edge, you're living on the edge.
There was some stories with him and Jordan. They would firing tons of money, and that Evil didn't even have. I mean, Jordan's got a lot of money.
Yeah.
But so I was just talking to them about that a couple of weeks ago. It's funny we bring that up. But anyway, we were talking about tipping, and I said, why do I rate people on tips so bad? Maybe because I listen, let's just face it. I talked about this before. I grew up poor. So I grew up working in tip positions my whole life. So I'm a tipper. I'm stupid with tips. But and I don't tip like a lot of guys, people want to tip because they're in front of people. No, I just had breakfast alone at the Black Bear Diner, and the girl was so nice that on a $20 bill, I left $50. She was so nice. She was so good. You're like, it was only me and her. Like people now everyone knows though. That was my goal. Yeah. But anyway, no. But some of these guys have to tip because they're in the spotlight too. And by the way, they got tons of money. Tiger, Michael. I mean, they got tons of money.
Yeah.
Where I said Barkley is such a good tipper.
Yes.
I watched Barkley give $1,200 out.
Yeah.
12 guys, 100 each. I mean. Yeah. So they got to learn from Charles.
But Charles is salt of the earth. When I when I worked at the Hall of Fame, my relationship and my respect level for Charles Barkley grew exponentially. So Jordan's Hall of Fame enshrinement. Charles came to support Michael and all those things. And Charles, I was everybody's little security.
Sure.
I was Jordan's security.
Yep.
I'm the marketing man. I'm the marketing director, but I'm Jordan's security, Charles' security. Charles is stopping, taking pictures with little old ladies that are in wheelchairs.
What a good guy.
Bending down.
What a good guy.
Bad knees, bad hips, taking pictures.
Just a good guy.
He, partying with people running up on him. I'm like, Charles, I got to keep these people off. He's like, no, let him party.
In. Yeah.
Like
Tiger don't take pictures with no one. He's just, he's getting better now. But he was tough in his younger career, man. I watched him push kids out of the way on the golf course. I'm like, why can't believe Tiger just did that? But going back to what I said, so I do rate people on tipping. I'm probably even a little bit wrong, but it's just where I come from. You got to take care of people.
Yeah.
I'm still an average guy. I'm still the average Joe. So I'm sticking up for average Joe and regular people because people deserve to be in tip positions. You have to take care of them, especially if you got big money.
Yeah.
Take care of them. Make their day. You make their day.
Make their month.
Make their month.
Yeah.
There's a movie. It's an old movie. It's old. It's called The Pope of Greenwich Village. It's an old movie, and they go through the toll booth, and it's Eric Roberts and Mickey Rourke. Eric Roberts reaches across Mickey Rourke to give the toll booth collector $1. This is 1980.
Yeah.
So $1, and Mickey Rourke's like, what was that? He's got to tip the guy. Tip the guy, Charlie. The job's a sentence. He's breathing fumes all day. Tip the guy. This is back before we had Easy Pass and just take care of people. It makes you feel good too.
Man, you took care of a toll person?
Toll booth collector.
Yeah,
How about the gas
happened.
station guy? You ever give the gas station guy any money? Oh, wait a minute. You guys are.
No,
we're
you mean full serve.
Well, yeah. Well, no,
of course,
New Jersey,
of course, full service, of course.
New Jersey, it's illegal to pump your own gas.
That's right.
So,
yes, of course, full service.
I always give the guy $2. Now, listen. My wife came from a regular family. She's like, "What are you doing?" She was like, "You can't tip the guy." I said, "Yeah, I could tip them."
Yeah,
and they're always so appreciative.
Yeah, no. Full service. Yes,
yeah, full service.
I thought you were meaning like the guy behind the counter. I was like, no, I'm not just tipping.
I don't go in that death hut. No. You ever they're always mopping the floors and stuff from the last murder. I don't go in those things. No. That comes from Sebastian Maniscalco. That's what he said. He goes, I don't go in those death huts, especially at night. You get a couple squirts of gas and get out of there.
Yeah, that's right. You get to the next move, right? Now, we talked a little bit before air about UFC 299, so we'll go over a quick recap of the event. Were you able to tune in?
I watched it.
You were able to watch it?
It's funny. I don't watch them all, but this particular one I watched. I tell you, I was impressed with Vera, the main event, right?
Yeah.
Being able, he didn't get knocked down from this guy. No. He didn't get knocked down at all. O'Malley, right?
That's right.
He got beaten down, but he didn't. And then I read after the fight, I didn't know because I'm not really in tune with UFC like I am boxing. I'm a boxing fan. I grew up with boxing and baseball. This stuff you grew up with back in New York, New Jersey. But I read he never got knocked down ever. I was like, wow.
Oh, Marlon Vera in his career
never was knocked down. That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
what a tough guy.
He took some shots too in that.
He took some shots.
He took some shots. I would say he didn't really get in trouble too much. He got in trouble maybe about once or twice, but it was interesting. The last, I'd say, 2 rounds, he finally actually was like, okay, enough. Let me try to take this to you more.
Yeah,
and I felt like
I think he won the 4th. And then the 5th, the end of the 5th, he got a good shot in 2.
Yeah. He didn't win it, but it was it's still,
it
was still dicey. You know what I mean? You got to always remember, these are fights. And we go back to Leon Edwards knocking out Kamaru Usman. He was getting shut out 5 rounds to nothing. And then a Hail Mary leg kick. And now he's the champion for the last year.
How about this? Now, I sent my buddy, I could not believe the odds on, so I was looking at the odds. I cannot believe the odds were, he was plus 210. At fight time, it was plus 180, 185. But at fight time, when they got in the ring, Poirier was plus 210 down at Circa.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this guy's one of the greats.
That was the fight that I had him on a parlay.
There he is.
Oh, there it is. Okay, you can zoom in on that. We can go ahead and
get... No, just this is at my buddy. I'm friends with Teddy Atlas. This is at Teddy Atlas's event. I'm really good friends with Teddy, actually. And Poirier was there. He was so nice.
Yeah.
What a nice kid.
He's a good
just
dude.
A nice guy. Yeah.
He's a good dude.
But anyway, I was rooting for him, and I said, well, something's weird, though. When you see the odds go from minus 200 to minus 260 in the last 20, 30 minutes, I'm like, man, they don't want no more money on the favorite here. They want money on Poirier. And the first round, Poirier lost. Second round, though, he came out with that shot and he got him, and it was like, wow. Well, I felt so proud, to have met this kid at being this much of a big dog. Yeah, one of the legends of the game. I don't know if
that's appropriate.
Yeah,
he will be in the Hall of Fame.
Right. Well, that
he
means
will be
everything.
in the Hall of Fame. So you can say legend about Dustin Poirier.
But yet, I googled these guys' net worth the other night watching the fights. I thought, in boxing, you got some of the biggest names, like Poirier used to be one of the biggest names, right?
Yep.
His net worth's like $5 million. I was like, what, $5 million?
Yep.
Floyd made $300 million in a fight.
In one night.
Wow.
And I've
but they have knockout thing. They have big things. They give 50,000 or something. Or my friend said they have big. My friend's really in tune with the UFC, and he said, "You're not thinking though."
I got you.
He goes, "You're not really thinking."
Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you. We've had some clips on this from previous episodes. Yeah, because I quite a few. I've at this point now I probably know 30 UFC fighters.
Oh wow.
A few of them.
So do they give away he said they give away six $50,000 bonuses a night?
It just that depends.
I was like, wow, I didn't know that.
They give away. He gives away fight bonuses. He gives away fight of the night. And then also most people don't know about this, but some of my fighter friends have told me he gives locker room bonuses.
Oh wow.
So you can get $5-8 grand.
Think you're saying Dana?
Yeah, this is
because Dana's very generous.
Well,
I mean, I watched him with my own eyes.
Maybe tipping.
Tipping. He's very generous tipping. Yeah. No, but
the purse strings aren't being relinquished for said fighters too much.
Wow. So for the undercards, you mean, and stuff, or even
and that's the sad part, because the thing that makes UFC so amazing is that we do know all these names, or know a good chunk of names throughout the card. Yeah. When it's boxing, it's the main event. Sure. You might know 1, 2, maybe 3 other guys on that.
Very good point.
But in the UFC, it's especially from the main card or even the prelim up, we know at least 8 to 10 people every fight.
That's a very good
point. So it's for them to not be getting paid well.
Even though I know boxing, I don't know a lot of the undercards. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Not until they become who they are. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's in terms of the champions, the main events, if it's a championship fight, those guys are making decent money. Right. It's decent. Now, when I say decent, it's still great and perfect for any regular person out there.
Sure.
But in terms of what they're going through and in terms of how many fights they could actually attain at that level, it's very small. So for you to say Dustin's only worth 5, it makes sense.
I was surprised.
He does. He's. I can't remember if he's been champion. He might have been champion.
But then I googled Conor McGregor that night. He's worth $200 million.
So, but that's 90%. 90% of that comes from the fight with Floyd.
Oh! I wasn't even thinking that.
Because remember the fight with Floyd,
like $150 million.
Yeah, he made
no, you're right.
over $50 million for that fight.
No, I wasn't thinking that. Yeah, so that comes from the boxing. Oh my god.
Yeah. That's why so many of them have wanted to get into boxing. That's the reason why I'm not mad at all at Jake Paul, because of the spotlight that he was shining on the issue.
Yeah.
Because for Francis Ngannou to make more in 6 months fighting in boxing,
sick.
In 2 fights, to make more in 6 months than he had the entirety of his career fighting MMA. Come on.
Yeah.
You can say what you want. He was champion. So, you know what I mean?
I didn't Google what he made the other night, but I did watch the fights. It was over. That's Saudi Arabia, man. They give so much money. They overpay for everything.
I've got an event coming up with them in May.
Oh, really?
June. I'll crack some cocoa love to that. But
okay.
Yeah.
No,
they do.
I mean, Anthony Joshua's worth $150 million. Mm-hmm. I mean, just think. I mean, he looked good the other day, but I don't know if. I guess I was going off the Fury fight, which I watched Fury and Ngannou. I probably thought Fury even lost that fight, even though I was rooting for him.
Fury lost that fight.
Yeah, I think maybe he didn't train, or he was just not taking it serious. Almost like Tyson with that fight over in Japan.
Buster Douglas. When he had the glove with ice in it.
Yeah,
no inswell.
Yeah, no, serious. I don't think he trained. But speaking of which. Then you guys will notice more than me probably. Did I hear this is signed as a fight with Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul?
Yeah.
Is it an exhibition or a real fight?
No, it's supposed to be a real fight.
Wow.
In July, I think it was July 12th.
Any odds up on it yet?
Yeah, seriously. I think it's July 12th.
But it's not an exhibition. It's a real fight. It's not like going to be like Tyson fought Jones recently.
Roy Jones, yeah.
And they kind of, even though you could bet on it, it kind of messed around. It wasn't really it was like an exhibition. So there wasn't like a winner at the end.
Yeah.
I know like one of the shows, one of DraftKings like booked it all day long, and they had to give all the money back to everybody. Yeah, because there was no decision. They're like, but you guys both won. Good job.
Yeah.
And they didn't know they were going to do that.
Yeah.
But it was a real fight. I seen Jake Paul recently when at the Super Bowl. I wasn't at the Super Bowl, but the week before, all the press conferences, I seen him. He looked. I had no idea. He's a big guy. He's cut.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
No, he's. And not that you have to be cut. Cut actually is not good in boxing a lot. You have to be faster. So
yeah.
But I don't know what to think. I have friends that said if those two guys ever fight, Jake Paul's going to get killed. And I don't know. After seeing him, I just don't know. He's got probably 30 years on him. I don't know what Jake Paul's age is, but
30 years.
Is it 30?
Mike is like 56,
55?
57 now.
Okay.
Jake Paul is like 27.
Oh wow! So he has almost 30 years on him.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But once Tyson gets crazy when he's
it just depends on what Mike comes out, because I'll tell you.
Yeah. Right.
That needs to open up as a line.
Yeah.
Will there be an illegal bite in the fight?
Yeah. Will there be something going on?
Yes or no?
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what though? Mike's making a lot of money now again. He went broke. Don King robbed him like he robs everybody.
Yeah.
And he robbed Muhammad Ali. I'll always remember that. The great Muhammad Ali.
He robbed Muhammad.
Yeah. Yeah, he gave like Muhammad Ali
after the
he gave him like $1 million in a cigar box, and he just there's so many stories with and it's amazing he's still around, Don King.
I know. When you mentioned his name, I was like, Don King's not dead yet.
No,
he's still alive. He's been real quiet. I'd say the last 10 to 15 years.
He's got to be like 85. He's on a free roll.
Yeah.
But. Yeah. See how we could talk about anything?
I
could talk anything. All my shows are unscripted. Me and John come in here unscripted.
Yeah.
I do shows on VC we're unscripted, called unscripted.
Yeah.
We'll just talk about really anything. But if you had things to talk about, fire them away. I have nothing prepared.
I have to have my show flow. I have to have my preparation done.
Yeah.
But
you should.
But let's quickly go around the world in sports. There was a big fight in the championship, the women's championship, LSU versus South Carolina. South Carolina being the perennial power, LSU kind of jumping up in the last year, winning the national championship with Angel Reese and the girls in LSU. Jory, go ahead and run the clip. We'll let that run.
It's ugly. It's not good. No one wants to be a part of that. No one wants to see that ugliness. But I can tell you this. I wish she would have pushed Angel Reese. Don't push a kid. You 6'8", don't push somebody that little. That was uncalled for, in my opinion. Let those two girls that were jawing, let them go at it. It's ugly. It's not good.
Man.
No one wants to be a part.
So my thing, because I saw this on the way in, my thing on it was, this is why I feel like women's sports are really starting to take a real push. Because they're willing, like the competitiveness, even in female athletics, like you see it more. There's not so much buddy. They don't when they actually go to compete, they compete. And I can say this as coaching young women, coaching high school girls over the last few years. I've coached boys and men and NBA guys and all that. But over the last few years coaching girls want to fight. Like, they will fight.
Yeah, I got to tell you, though, I don't like this new trend on social media of – now, this is not – I understand this is a basketball game. I don't like showing all the violence and the fights and the people jumping people 10-on-1 and 5-on-1.
No.
I don't like what I'm seeing, but that's out there now. It's over. I mean, we're growing up in different times than when we grew up when we were kids. It's all over, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I constantly see fights and showing things. I'm mostly on Twitter, so – I see it on Twitter all the time. There is so much bad stuff going on like that, and it's no one's helping no one, but they're all recording with their phones. People are dying. They're dying, and they're just recording.
That's the key to me is that whenever anything pops off, I'm gonna record. versus breaking up something versus not allowing something to get worse. You know what I mean? Especially as men, men, our job is to protect. Our job is to make sure, diffuse situations that don't need to happen. Like, listen, if there's a situation somebody needs to fight, sometimes people need to fight.
Yeah.
Now, just in today's society, people don't fight. People go get guns. They go get knives. They don't fight anymore.
Terrible.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, you're 100% right.
We always had fights when we were younger. There was always fights.
Yeah.
They just didn't record them. There wasn't phones around. Instead of, you would let someone get some shots in. All right, someone's getting us up. The best of someone, let's break it up now.
Let's break it up.
No,
yeah.
they fight to the death, and they'll just tape to the death.
Tape it.
Oh,
and then be like, I don't know what happened. It's like, you taped it. You should have stopped it.
Yeah, they should have stopped. And the parents get mad at them and say, "Why didn't you do it?" I don't know. I was doing what everyone else did, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
And then what does your mom and dad said? If everyone else started jumping off the George Washington Bridge, would you do the same thing?
That's right.
That's what they told us, and they were right. They were right.
That's right. Oh, when these last few generations go, man, it's gonna be a different world. It really, really is.
It's tough.
But we have to also mention around the world in sports. We also have to mention that the A's, they had been taking some shots around town in terms of whether they were going to move here, whether they were going to stay in Oakland, where were they going to go. But I'll tell you this, Bill, that new stadium that they finally put the renderings up, it got an A+.
Looks nice.
It looked real
nice. It looks nice. It really does look nice. And Tropicana's closing. In next 3 weeks, they'll be closing. So it's official. I guess they're coming, but we don't know the year, right? I heard 2028, but then I heard could be later. So they're going to stay in Oakland till then. Is that correct?
That is still what's kind of
I don't even know.
Because
they're going to play at Cashman Field or something. I mean,
well, because this right here was such a a Hail Mary because they had started losing so much support.
Right.
But they're calling it the spherical armadillo.
Oh wow!
It looks. The first thing I thought of was the Opera House in Sydney, Australia.
Yep.
When I saw it,
beautiful.
And so it was funny and cool to hear other people saw that too. Because when I saw it, I was like, that thing looked like the Sydney Opera House.
Wow.
But that's what they're calling it, is a spherical armadillo. It's going to have an 18,000 square foot jumbotron, which will be the biggest in the league.
Wow.
And then it also the center field glass window is going to be the biggest window in the world.
Oh, nice. It's indoor, right? Of course, right?
It will be indoor.
120 degrees in August sometimes.
Yeah,
here.
I don't know if they're going to be able to open up maybe elements or, because before it was saying semi-retractable, so I don't know what that means.
I don't know this. Is Allegiant Stadium retractable? I've never seen it open.
Man, so remember, Allegiant was supposed to have this tinted glass at the top.
Yes.
It was supposed to be this polymer glass that was one of a kind, and then they just painted the roof white, and I was like, "What happened to the tempered glass? I thought we were supposed to be able to see the ceiling." And
right. See the planes go over.
It was never going to be retractable.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was never going to be retractable, but it was going to have a glass ceiling.
I'll tell you what, they did a good job. I really didn't know how these sports were going to work in Vegas. Oh my God! You go to a Golden Knights game. I was never a hockey fan. But when I go to one of those games, it's such a fan-friendly atmosphere. They get the kids, the locals, everyone involved. The Golden Knights sold out every night here. What an experience, even if you're not a hockey fan like I wasn't. And then
surprising, not because you grew up in the Islanders and Rangers era.
Yeah, no,
where the Islanders were winning Stanley Cups every year.
Yes, I was just never really a hockey fan.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up a baseball fan. Grew up a Yankee fan, a Met
Yankees.
fan. Mostly Mets. I would go against everyone in my house was Yankee fans. I was always rooting for
you're
the
that
underdog.
guy.
I'm still the same guy. I root against. I root for the underdog, no matter what in life.
I love it.
But so the Raiders did really well here for their 8 home games a year. Mm-hmm. So many people come in. It's just so focused. It's just not a home game for the Raiders normally. Kansas City Chiefs were here. The whole thing was a sea of red. Pittsburgh Steelers were here.
It was yellow. It was yellow.
It was unbelievable. But however, it's also a great experience too. I have really good connections for one of the luxury suites. I brought John a couple times, and he absolutely loves it. He'll go to every single game. John Olander we're talking about. Of course it's free, but no, I'm giving him a little love.
Okay, wait. Oh no, that's big news.
What is that? I can't.
That's big news. Okay, so we're breaking some news live on air. Thank you, Jory, in the back. The Saquon Barkley is going to switch rivals in the NFC East. He is going to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh my God, that's giant. Is that official?
That's
Giant fans are gonna go crazy.
That's a
no. They're
big
gonna
deal.
go like this. This kid is I can't even believe.
That's Lucifer incarnate right there. That's Benedict Cardinals.
I want to even Google it because I mean, is that official? I just think they're gonna tear. I mean, and those. I'll tell you what, Eagles are not. It's not easy to play over there in South Philly.
No,
those fans are tough fans, man. They threw snowballs at Santa Claus. Remember? I mean,
and batteries.
Yeah. No. Wow. That's really late breaking news.
They lost DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift, I think, went to the Bears. I saw that. There weren't really any big movers today so far in free agency. We were going to talk about NFL a little bit further down the line, but I can
something's weird. He only got a $37 million contract, 3 years. That doesn't sound like a lot.
That's just the nature of that position now.
Yeah.
If you can get a 3-year deal done,
you're right though.
With if $20 million of that is upfront, then yeah.
I think of like Danny Dimes getting like $50 million a year. Yeah. Like they're giving this guy, or like I think he got $40 million a year.
Yeah, I think it was like 40,
yeah,
42.
The old Raiders quarterback got like 4 years, $160 million too. Like
Garoppolo,
and now you're going to tell me Barkley. Well, that's interesting. That's an unbelievable trade. Unbelievable. Saquon from the Bronx, going to Philly. Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
The and one other thing as far as because I was going to ask you this as far as just from a betting perspective, Russell Wilson.
I seen that.
It looks like he might be going to the Steelers.
I think he is. And look,
what else you got? Kirk Cousins. Wait, you got something
Kirk
in front of
Cousins
it.
leaves the Vikings for a Falcons.
Oh, for the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, we got some news coming in on the show.
$180 million they gave him.
How much of it is guaranteed?
I don't know. It's a lot of money though for Cousins. I mean, 4 years, $180 million. Wasn't he hurt? Like
he tore his Achilles.
I'll tell you what though, he's a tough guy. I watched that quarterback thing on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's amazing the positions, the stuff they go through those guys.
Yeah,
Mahomes
that's unsaid.
Oh my God,
unsaid.
I probably never realized how hard of a job that is till I watched that quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, Mahomes and him, the way they went through those.
Then Mariota was the other one in there as well.
Now, did he go to Philadelphia as the backup? Right? Is that what he went?
At that time? I think he was
in Atlanta.
He was
right?
in Atlanta. Yeah, he was in Atlanta at that time. Yeah.
Anyway, I want to see if I wonder if some of this is guaranteed or something. It's got to be.
Well, Kirk Cousins was the first quarterback to ever have a fully guaranteed quarterback contract signing when he first signed with the Vikings.
Right.
Deshaun Watson just did it. So if he got fully guaranteed $180 million, my gracious. But it does definitely make the Falcons a little bit better. What you got, Jory?
$90 million.
$90 million guaranteed? Okay, yeah. Coming off that Achilles, let's not be crazy.
That's what I'm saying. How can you? Yeah.
Let's not be crazy, Atlanta. Don't be stupid around here.
No, wow. That makes them a better team, though.
Yo, for sure.
Yeah,
no.
that
That makes them viable. It definitely
Wow.
makes them viable.
Wow,
for
you
sure.
guys are breaking information on this show.
a little bit.
Oh my God, giant information in the NFL.
A little bit. Now, so do you, as far as the Steelers, if they are able to sign Russell Wilson, do they become a player in the toughest division in football, do you feel?
Yeah, I think, I think as long as Watt's healthy, I think they're situationally. Wasn't he out like the end of the season or something?
Russ?
Hold on a minute. Let me just see something. I see a thing on him that he might even be hurt or something. I don't know.
Talking about Russell Wilson?
No, I was talking about J.J. Watt. Do I got the wrong guy?
Oh, T.J. Watt.
TJ Watt.
TJ was
TJ
hurt.
Watt. Oh, no,
Remember,
JJ's
he was
his brother. Yeah.
he was hurt
Wasn't
for
he
the playoffs.
hurt the last? Did that the last game he did not play?
He didn't play in the playoffs. No. It wasn't super serious, but it was.
That's
serious
what I want to see how serious it was.
I don't think it was surgery. I think it was just like he still wasn't ready yet.
Okay,
it just wasn't back in time.
Listen, that team is a team that every year you think they're going to go further, and they just haven't reclaimed those glory years of the Steelers.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Cowboys, to be honest with you. They just haven't. Every year the Cowboys are like the wise guys, the sports betting syndicates. They're betting the Cowboys to win Super Bowl, playoff division.
Yeah.
It just seems like they don't. Now they did win their conference. They didn't win they didn't go. Of course, they went to the Super Bowl. They didn't go to the Super Bowl, but the wise guys bet them down this year and last year, the year before that. They thought that they were going to be the champions. So and they get a lot of money every year, a lot of love. But from wise guys though, which is unusual. The public, of course, is always betting on America's team. But anyway, interesting. These moves, what'll happen is these type of moves will happen, and the sports books will already have that in there. It's like implied odds in poker. So don't rush right out and think, oh, I got to bet them. This trade happened. That's probably in the odds already, that trade. So don't rush right out and bet futures without, especially searching. You want to search everywhere for the best odds. Like, I was looking for my buddy. I have a sharp guy back east that said to me, he said, hey, over here in FanDuel, DraftKings, and MEM, and they have like 7-1 on Purdue to win it all. What's the best odds you guys see out there? And I seen like 8-1, So those searching all those different places, though, to have a lot of outs in your arsenal is very important because there are some different odds. But that being said, we're going to go to a total different subject here if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't really like betting teams to win it all. Now, a low team like that you might, but if you're going to bet a team to win it all, just look at what their bracket can be when the brackets come out or whatever it may be. And just say, maybe you could do a money line parlay for each game. So if you want to, put $100 up, what will 100 win on this one? Then what will 200 win on this one, or 150, whatever it is? And you keep on parlaying it. Sometimes, for the major percentage of times, it'll come out better than it will to bet a future at a sports book, because futures are terrible odds. Terrible.
Yeah.
40, 50, 60% hold. Unlike a straight bet or a money line bet, which is literally, I don't know, I shouldn't say money line. A straight bet is a 4.5% hold for the book.
Yeah.
So you'll want to bet into that 4.5% market rather than bet into a market where you're getting 10-1, where meanwhile you could put the money line parlay and get 18-1. Because that's how much hold is in those Yankees to win the World Series, someone to win the Super Bowl. They're really never, very rarely. I'm going to say no. Don't even look at that market. Sportsbooks will hate me. Don't even look at that market, because that market's really, really just not worth playing, the futures market. Yeah. I won't do it. Now, granted, the situations where you'll laugh, like the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Yeah.
There's been situations I made scores on stuff like that.
Shut up.
Yes. How about Banchero to be number one pick? Giving that out at like 12-1.
Yeah.
And I bet it at 18-1 at FanDuel. I bet it at 12-1 multiple times at DraftKings. And then him being the favorite, 3 hours before the draft, he was like plus 120. And then Woj announcing, he's not going to be number one. This guy's going to... And going back to that was in the morning. That morning of the draft, it went from literally plus 120 back to 10-1. And then, of course, he which was still a good bet. I gave it out on another show I do that morning. And sure enough, so that's a future market I will play. But I'm very, very selective on that. I have to have really good information, which you're not going to get really good information on ESPN. NBA future, NFL future. I don't know if we even talked about this when I was on a previous show with you. I really don't even bet that many NFL sides and NBA sides. I'll bet more NFL than NBA even. The NBA, just betting sides, like just looking at look at my Don Best real quick tonight. Charlotte playing Detroit. Detroit -4.
You're not touching that.
Let me just tell you. You know how hard it is? I don't know anyone, and I've been around the sharpest sports betting syndicates of all time. And when I say the word syndicate, don't think automatically I'm mafia. No. Yeah. Sports betting, brainiac type of guys. We call that a syndicate when you have guys that are so smart, their brains are just spewing out their pores. But these guys are great with back-tested information, and also just they win betting sports.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them that bet the NBA. I know one guy that did. He was a winning bettor. He lost the last 2 years. NBA sides I'm talking about. Not totals, not quarters, not player props, which I love, which is the reason why I get thrown out of sports books. NBA sides and NFL sides. So
NFL sides too.
Listen, I'm here we live in Las Vegas. We're lucky. We can get the Giants plus 7.5 here at one of the slower moving sports books like Stations, Wynn, or Boyd. But, back east you can't get that. You can get 7. Those extra hooks on key numbers like 7 and 3, they mean a lot. So I'm not going to tell you I don't win at it, but I don't recommend it for no one because you have to have lots of outs. Same thing. Outs means lots of places to play. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with NBA, NFL props is beatable. Totals are beatable. I've beaten totals every year. Certain parlay situations when it's correlated, certain teasers, But teaser prices have went up so much drastically, probably not even worth betting them anymore.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking to steal when I play. I mean, I don't mean steal. I'm looking for something that's low-hanging fruit when I bet.
That's right.
I'm not betting something just to watch it on TV and
sweat it out.
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't even watch the games, a lot of them.
Yeah.
We have a formula, and our formula is a model based on an algorithm, and that plus the human elements involved also, because you have to put the human element. You can't just do a mathematical formula.
Yeah.
And come out with something. You have to have a human element. You have to have maybe injury-based plays, plays based on weather or team performance or flow of the game. There's a lot of different things you have to put into it.
I was actually going to ask you because I had down here, and we don't even have to get into it, but just in terms of the Bears, they're not going to be moving probably to the suburbs. They're going to actually keep it in Chicago, and it's sounding like it's going to be a dome stadium.
So I didn't know that. Are they getting rid of Soldier Field?
Yeah, they're not going to do. It's going to be south of Soldier Field. It's going to. But it sounds like it's going to be close.
Okay.
But how much do you feel weather does go into sports in general, like outdoor sports?
Usually weather doesn't go into sports for Joe Public.
Yeah.
Till the TV comes on and they see it in the background.
Yeah.
They see the tractors and the snow shovels and whatever it may be,
blowing smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually, but for the guys like myself and I'm not. By the way, I'm not the sharpest out there. There's like 10 syndicate groups that win. Maybe a little bit less now, actually, because a couple of them lost this year. But they all have the knowledge of these games are going to, like Buffalo Bills were in the playoffs this year. And when the line came out on the Sunday, which is 7 days before the official game, the forecast, you can look ahead on these almanac forecasts, and there's just some different kind of forecasting sites that are very good, and you see there's going to be bad weather there.
Yeah.
So automatically we hit the under on the game. It was so bad of weather that they actually canceled the game and played the next day, if you remember this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember. They played Buffalo, played somebody, but it was so bad that they changed the game to the next day or 2 days later. And it just so happens that the weather cleared up and the game went over. You know what I mean? So it moved from like 41 down to 32. I mean, it was that big of a line. So the public will get wind of that a little bit because it's such a public game. It's a playoff game. There's not many to look at, unlike every week where there's 15 games a week to look at. Yeah. But we'll put them in forecast. We'll put that in our betting forecast on Sunday or Monday, when we're able to bet down a decent amount. Unlike most of the public, they wait till the last minute when they see it on TV.
Yep.
They're betting as soon as they see it on TV. Yep. Oh my God, I got to bet the under. And you want to know the truth? All that matters is the wind. The snow doesn't mean anything. It means hardly anything. The wind and wind gust, that's what means everything when betting weather-related games. So I'll wait for Joe Public to push that game under from 40 down to 36.5 because they're seeing it on TV, and I'll go the other way and bet the over.
Yeah.
As long as the wind, if there's no wind gust, just like 10-mile-an-hour, that the quarterbacks can throw the ball, the over is the right play mathematically in the long run.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah,
Jordan, do you have any questions for Bill quick? Because he's out here dropping knowledge right now.
That's just some really good stuff that I love to help. I love to be a teacher more than anything, to teach the kids or teach the young folks, the under 30 crowd, to what they should be looking at, not just, oh my God, I love the Lakers, they're gonna kill them.
Yeah.
No, everyone loves the Lakers. That's why you're paying tax to bet that game. So instead, the game maybe should be 4.5, and you're laying 5.5.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. So it's good to have more than one sports book in your arsenal. People come to Vegas. You should, if you're coming to Vegas with like more than $500 to bet sports with, you should probably have 2 apps at least to put your money in. The casino you're in, and maybe get like a Stations app or a Boyd app, which is like Gold Coast, that particular company, or the Win app. The first 2 don't let me play, by the way. Boyd and Stations threw me out for using my brain. But I still tell the public at home to get them, because you'll get half a point on a lot of things, and you'll get slow-moving lines. That's the more important thing. So, in other words, if you have a line at Circa here in town, and you see 4, and you see Stations at 5, Stations will probably go towards that Circa line sooner or later. But credit to them, they'll actually wait to take a bet on the +5.
They won't just move it.
Well, listen, they do sometimes.
Yeah.
But for the most part, stations will take a little bet from someone on the move, on the line, without moving on air, it's called.
Yeah.
With not taking a bet, just moving, because there's a lot of bookmakers in town that instruct their guys that are watching the screens, as soon as Circa move, we move.
Yeah.
That's a joke. I can manipulate the line. I could bet $1,000 at Circa at my account and move the line. Now you're going to move with them, and a couple other books will just move with them. So I can actually, literally manipulate the line and get them to move the wrong way. I've done this for reporters on overnight games in college basketball. So, there's you have to know, what you're doing. You have to know what's going on as far as the key numbers in even in basketball. There's key numbers. There's, NFL, of course, the 3 and the 7, which is out there now. Everyone knows games land on 3 or 7 touchdowns. But now with the 2-point conversion and with analytics going in to go for it or go for 2, and the kick is now 10 yards further the last 6, 7 years. There's a lot more games that land on crazy numbers, so the 3 and 7 aren't worth what they used to be. But even in college basketball, the 2 and the 3, they're worth a lot. If I tell you anything on this show today that I can probably get yelled at from some of the sharp guys, that's going to be it.
Yeah.
College basketball, if you're betting plus 2.5 on a game, buy it to plus 3 minus 20. Don't, spend 10 cents extra for the 3. Same thing if you're betting the favorite minus 2.5, buy it down to minus 2, minus 20. The reason why you want to do that, those games land more. That actually is actually worth more money than the 10 cents you pay. Now, some of the sports books know this now. So Circa, Westgate, they charge you 15 cents, even 20 cents to move half a point. But there's a lot of books out there that still charge 10 cents. The 2 and the 3 is real key in college basketball. I was taught that by some of the sharpest, old school Jewish guys in the world. No, these guys were, they just like Lefty Rosenthal in Casino, they did not take it. They took it so serious.
That's Ace.
I don't think they had
in the back.
Ace Rothstein, right?
That's right.
Yeah, Ace Rothstein.
You broke out his real name. You said Lefty. That's right.
The
Ace
sharp ones don't know.
from
the movie Casino. You can see he didn't. He knew the kind of bounce on the court. He knew if the girlfriend's the quarterback's girlfriend was pregnant, like that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff means something, but. You see how he didn't have fun with it. It was a business to him. It's a business to me, too. I have to tell you, no matter what, I don't chase the games at night. I don't bet because I lost. And, there's a Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night NFL game. It's there for one reason, because everyone loves to bet. And they bet no matter what. They're going to know if I tell them to on blue in the face, do not bet just because the game's on TV. You can guarantee that 9 out of 10 people watching that game, they're betting. I don't care what the commissioner says. Take that, commissioner. Give me a break. Telling me that people don't bet on sports and stuff. Oh, my God, our viewership really doesn't. Yeah, okay. If it wasn't for people betting, you guys would go bankrupt. But, yeah, you don't have to bet just because the game's on TV. Can't you just bet to be a fan? Everyone's saying, no way, we can't bet to be a fan. Of
course.
Got to have action, even if it's a 5 or a sawbuck. Got to have something on the game.
That's terrible. Let's quickly go through March Madness. First things first, if you have not entered into the Jersey Jam, please do so. We've got about 25 teams already accounted for. So, Bill, are you in the Jersey Jam, Bill?
No, not in the Jersey Jam.
We got to get Bill signed up. Bill,
I'll do it.
So the Jersey Jam, Bill, is your favorite college or pro basketball or football, NFL or college jersey that you feel will win. And so it's basically set to the NCAA tournament bracket. So it's 64 teams, and you basically have a matchup versus another jersey. If you win the matchup, you move on to the next round.
Who came up with that?
I did.
Your kid. That's great.
This is my second year doing it.
No, that's fun.
Yeah,
that's
Jory,
fun.
have you signed up?
Not yet. I will though.
Yeah, I sent you your message. Anyway,
are we on live for people home?
Yeah, we're on live.
Okay, because one of my guys just sent me a game, so I'll give you guys a live game that starts at 6:30 tonight, Vegas time.
There we go.
Can I give out a game?
Of course.
Northern Kentucky. It's game 858. That means the Don Best rotation number 858, 857. Northern Kentucky, Wisconsin, Milwaukee over the total 152.5. Available at lots of places. The Win stations, like I said, 153 is fine because you get a push. So everyone else is 153. So there's a little free play for you guys to bet the over on. I'm
over here writing it down.
Firing. Yeah, no. But I like your Jersey. It's called Jersey Jam.
Jersey Jam.
Jersey Jam. I like it. So do you fill out a bracket and everything?
Yeah. I do all that.
That's fun.
So basically, I base it off of how I feel that. Well, two things. I base it off of your followership and then how I feel your jersey will do in terms of how I break it down from a 1 seed to a 16. But this year started doing NFL and college football as well, so that's kind of spicing it up. You know, we got the San Diego Chargers powder blues in there, got some Oregon stuff in there. So it's going to be a different year. So
cool.
About 40 slots left.
That's fun. You know, we got the big conferences now going. You know, I just want to tell everyone too, the conferences to some of the bigger teams doesn't mean as much as the big dance. So don't get caught up in betting the futures, because people love to bet these futures, like, you know, these teams to win it all, or, you know, whatever it may be, you know, Cincinnati to win it all, whatever, you know, that's not, it's just not like, you have to put yourself in the mindset of some of the teams, especially the higher rated teams, the Purdue, Connecticut, those, you know, they're not, I mean, they should win there, but I mean, they don't have the coaching and stuff. They don't want to kill themselves to win a conference tournament, and then they want to go in the big dance. So tomorrow, lots of them start. It's going to be fun. So starting tomorrow morning, like 8:30 in the morning, we got games. Fordham, Davidson, Central Florida, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Georgia. These are all games that are before noon, 11 a.m., 9:30. They're fun. It's a great time of the year to bet college basketball. Don't get caught up betting every game, and then what game starts next and what game starts next. So I like to bet. I'll tell you what, I like to bet. It's going to happen here in a couple weeks, guys, after Selection Sunday. So I like to tell you guys, I like to bet against a lot of those big teams on the first round in the first half.
Yes.
They come out there in the first half. You know, you're getting 12, 13, 14 points. These kids are pumped up. They're on TV first time and stuff against the big teams that know they're probably going to sail the second half, the athleticism and stuff, you know,
coaching
and the everything shows in the second half. Yeah. So I'll be picking out some of these dogs in the first half. I just think that's normally a way to go. Now, for me, having a lot of different places to bet at too, that because, you know, there'll be a line at like circa of 12 on a team, plus 12, and then you'll see one of these other places pop up plus 13. So not that they're key numbers, but they're really smart to
Bill, how did you know that I was going to ask you what your philosophy for betting college hoops this time of year was? That's a great one. That's great.
There's one.
That's a great one. Mine. So what I said a couple shows back. Mine this time of year, I bet coaches more than anything else, because the kids don't stay. They usually don't know systems forward, backward like they used to. And so now I bet coaches more than I bet players or jerseys.
Wow.
More than anything, because if especially you mentioned Purdue, like a lot of the coaches in the top 10, a lot of them have horrible track records in March Madness. So I'm like, a lot of these teams are going to take, I think, early losses, like in the first two rounds.
Right.
You know, maybe those top 10 guys, simply because the coaching some coaches do real well this time of year.
Yeah.
Some don't. Like Tom Izzo.
Sure.
Tom Izzo, he could have a bad team, but let him get into March Madness. He's going to make it to the Sweet 16.
Cool. So you're a coach guy the first round, especially.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And you know, like I know the last couple of years, unders in the early rounds have been really profitable. But you have to think now, especially under first halves, you have to think the bookmakers know that and price that in. Yeah. So you have to think that, but yet last year they were priced in and they still ran well. So that's something else you might want to check out early. You know, but there's a lot of different things to look at, and one could be the coaches, like you said. But I think I like looking at those Cinderella teams, you know, that come out first half and you know, I've been real successful with that.
That 15 seed that just is on fire.
Yeah. I've been successful with that over the years, and you know, a lot of the bigger teams will prevail in the end for the games. But you know, when's the last time you had 4 number ones and you know, hit the end? I mean, it's impossible. There's always going to be someone in there.
Somebody's going to take a loss.
Yeah.
Switching gears before we get out of here, talk a little bit of NBA before we get out. I feel like, so for me, this season's been very Jekyll and Hyde. Which team do you trust to be there in the end? Do you have any this year in the NBA? I don't either.
None of them.
When people tell me, you know, outside of the Celtics, but even the Celtics have so much, you know, baggage over the last 5 years. Yeah. I don't know if I can trust them.
How can they be 10-point favorites tonight? I mean, on the road in Portland. I mean, I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like, it opened up 7.5, went to 10. What do you just keep on laying until the cows come home? Like, there's no way I'd be betting. Again, NBA sides I don't even bet, but I'm saying, like, you know, you're picking the premier team. But it's so hard, the NBA. I don't even mess with it. And I used to always bet NBA totals. I haven't even done it this year, only a couple. It's more the props, the NBA props, player props over under on points scored, points, rebounds, assists, those type of things, destroying that market. Over 70%, which is impossible to keep up for the year. So
what because that one always ruins me. I had this is a couple weeks ago. I had like probably a 5 or 6 player prop going, and all I needed was Luka to not score 39.5.
Wow, how come I heard about this or something? I heard something. I think someone else had a big ticket with that and it didn't happen. But
and the worst part of it, the worst part of it was that the Mavericks were going to win the game. Like the game was essentially over.
Didn't have to score all those
and
points.
They left them in the last 3 minutes, and it was
what are you doing? You can get hurt. You can get injured. Like
we're up 8. Like there's no reason for him to still be in the game, Bill.
Oh, he's up 8 with a couple minutes left.
Yep. Yeah. And he stayed in the game.
Yeah.
And he got fouled, and
of course.
And I was like, well, no, he got fouled early.
Okay.
Where I was like, if he hits all these daggone free throws, if he gets fouled again, it's going to push him over because he wasn't making shots anymore.
Right.
And they weren't really going to him because they didn't have to. Okay. And it was an inbound, and it was like awkward bump, and they sent him back to the line. He hit them both.
I'm going to pick out something you said, and I don't mean to say it to you, but you said it, so you open the door for me.
Okay.
You open this clam, my friend. I would bet those props straight, though.
Okay.
All right, because here, let me tell you, I know it's nice to put a little down. It's why you go to the crap table and bet, aces or midnight or, I understand. But in the end, that's how the sports books survive. Now, if you want to do now listen, I have nothing against you doing your parlay. But let's say you have 5 players you like, and, you put $25 on each one of them, right? But if you want to still play your parlay, put the straight over-under on all 5 players for $25. Now throw a $10 on a 5-teamer or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Throw a small percentage of that where, maybe 10% of your total bet. That's what I recommend to do because those things, it seems like you always hit 4 out of 5.
Split it up and then still bet
one. Them all straight.
Yeah.
And then bet the 5-teamer.
Yeah.
For
giggles.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'll bet. Now, the only time I'll bet a parlay, me personally, is when I know the line's going to close in my favor. But if I could bet player props also on a parlay, I think I have an edge on them, so I'm going to bet them in a parlay. But I'm talking like college basketball totals. So I'll bet an overnight round robin by 3s. Like I'll bet, put 4 teams in and bet by 3s on the overnight round robin parlay.
What is round robin? Because anytime I see it, it wants to take so much money from me, and I don't understand what it means.
It does, because now you're playing it by 2s and 3s and 4s. I just like to play it mathematically by 3s is the best way to go. So I like to bet, in other words, if you bet a 3-teamer, that's considered a 3-team parlay. Yeah. And if you bet 4 teams in that parlay, you're going to bet 1 3-teamer, 2 3-teamer, 3-team. You're going to bet all the different combinations of 3-team parlays, and that's called a round robin. You round robin them, and then you could throw it by 4, which is a 1-team 4-team parlay, 4-leg parlay. I wouldn't even get involved in that, but I'm just saying what I do. I'll bet them because I know the line the next day is going to be in my favor, so I have a mathematical edge on that bet. That's why sportsbooks don't like me, because instead of just betting them straight, I'll do both. But if you're going to bet those player props, though, I would stick to that just for the public at home, for yourself. Don't get so enamored by parlays. There was a guy on Twitter. I know I tweeted it out. It was about a month ago, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it before we go off here. It was like 30% of New Jersey's profit came from parlay bettors. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, 30% of all the. I'm not going to find it, but I even surprised. 30% of the sports books profits, or even more, like 33%.
Yeah.
Was from parlays.
I believe it because just think of the society we live in. When you look at Mega Millions and all of this, everyone wants the one shot payout for the big one. Oh, I put $10 down and I made $1,000. Like everyone wants that shot, and that's what keeps, like you said, that's what's keeping the sports books alive.
And as far as that lottery goes, I'll play the lottery.
Yeah.
Once in a while, I'll throw $10 on them if it's whatever amount of money or something. But I know it's a sucker bet. It's a wrong bet. But sometimes when it gets up to like $1 billion,
You have to.
mathematically, it's actually in your favor to bet. But even though it's such a long shot to win, yeah, I'm sorry, guys, I can't find the actual.
It's all right.
Did you see the Montana catch? You know about that?
Montana catch?
Joe Montana. I'm sorry, the Montana pass, I should say.
No.
Joe threw me a pass.
No. Threw you a pass?
Yeah, there you go. That's me.
Yeah.
Joe Montana.
Uh-oh. Bill out here running routes. Running a 5-yard out.
Thank God I caught the ball.
Oh, yeah, that would have been
The great Joe Montana.
That would no, I didn't see that. That's on your Instagram.
That's on Twitter. Oh, it might be on Instagram too.
Okay.
I don't handle my Instagram. But yeah, here's me telling him, Joe, no fooling around. I see what you did the last kid. You threw him a post, and the kid led with the post. This is serious. I'm not joking. I said, Joe, that kid is 30 years old. You just led him with a post. I said, Joe, I'm going 5 steps, turn around, hit me. That's what I said. None of that post garbage, But he was such a good guy, and it was good as for a charity. Just a good man. And give me a high five there. One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I know we always think
for sure
of Brady, Mahomes, but Joe was one of the greatest of all time. Top 3 of all time.
Not a question.
Yeah,
not a question. Well, man, listen, thank you so much, Bill,
I talk too much. I know.
No.
Sorry.
It was great. It was great, and that was the reason why I just wanted to make sure I had some good topics for you. And
no, good. Anytime you guys want me on,
listen. We'll start doing this more and more, but I wanted to thank each of you guys for tuning in. Be sure to check out the episode that we did with Red TV last week. That one's I'm gonna start having some clips out for that this week as well. Again, if you haven't entered into the Jersey Jam, we're gonna be doing that over the next couple of days. So some good jerseys are still out there. I always tell you guys that all the good ones aren't gone, but there are some good ones that are gone. So go ahead and do that as well. And special shout out again to our sponsor, Coco Love.
I know this guy.
Yeah. You said
I've known Vinny for 20-some years. Yeah, the guy that owns
That's
this.
what you said.
Yeah, I've known him since around 2002, 2003. I seen him on Shark Tank too, pushing this.
Yeah, see, he was
on Shark Tank, my main man.
And I didn't know
Coco Love.
I didn't know he was on Shark Tank. So
yeah,
be sure to pick up a case and hydrate with love. And we will see you guys next time.
Thanks.